The dating pool is messed up, and dating today feels more complicated than ever. The term situationship with regards to relationship is a confused state to be with a man because you're more than a friend and less than a couple.
If you're wondering what a man thinks about when it comes to situationships, this is it right here. I'm gonna call it like it is. And I hate to break your heart, but all men see it as is just a glorified booty call.
When I was in my situationship, it costed me 3 years of my life, y'all. 3 years.
I think it's finally time I tell you guys the story of how I was in a 5-year-long situationship.
The situationship arrangement is not good for ladies because it often leaves us caught between casual interaction and serious commitment. And I don't think a good number of ladies out there would want that for themselves. But here is the thing. A good number of men benefit from situationships. Why so? While women are questioning themselves, having so many unanswered questions, a lot of men try in situationship.
That is right. You are glorified booty call. You are like the worker that puts in all the work, that stays late, that, does work they're not paid for, free overtime, refills the water, does things goes above and beyond everyone else, thinking they're going to get promoted, yet they never do. And maybe at best you get a pizza party for your hard work. But Eli, he's holding my hand. Eli, I met his mom. Eli, I went to the family cookout. I don't care. All I hear is you enabling being a rent-a-girlfriend. All I hear is you enabling the perfect situation for him. Men will keep you in a situationship and friends with benefits forever. And why wouldn't they? It's an amazing situation. Because just because you like him don't mean he likes you. Just because you want to be with him doesn't mean he wants to be with you. And honestly, I don't feel bad for you because you have yet to verbalize your needs and wants and just accepted what is in front of you. And to want more, which you can and should ask for more if you want it, but you're probably going to get denied because you already accepted to pay $50 at a restaurant for table bread. And now you want a tomahawk steak. A man ain't going to give it to you because why would he? And by you accepting the fact that you just want to be casual, he already psychologically puts you in a side piece bucket, not the wifey bucket. And if you're struggling to get out of it, it's not really a struggle because it's not an actual relationship. I always tell people if you're struggling to get out of a situationship, it's like telling me you're drowning in an inflatable baby pool. Girl, just stand up. And you can't stand up because you won't accept it. Take advantage of the power that you have. You are what you allow and what you enable, you beautiful person, you.
Hello fam, how you all doing? Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Thanks for your support. This video is focused on how some men prefer situationships over relationships and how that benefits them more.
A situationship with a man is pretty much when he's getting all the benefits of a relationship without having to commit to you. Now, why would he do this? Simple, because you allowed him to. Ask your grandmother if she was ever in a situationship. Explain it to her and see what she says. By the way, this happens to men too. Don't think that this is a woman problem. But I don't know about you, but for me, it's all or nothing. Anything in the middle, I walk away from it.
Before I get right into talking about how men benefit from situationships proper, let's have a quick definition of the term situationship. It is a romantic or sexual relationship that lacks commitment and definition, often existing in a gray area between friendship and formal partnership.
But they say a situationship is a relationship to one person and nothing to the other person.
Damn.
And so if it's not a relationship, if it's a situationship, that's for a reason.
Yeah.
Because if it was mutual, it would be a relationship.
Damn.
Sorry.
I mean, valid points. This is what I'm saying. I get swindled. I'm always the one that sees it as a relationship because if it wasn't that, I wouldn't be
You wouldn't even be involved in it. That's the thing about you.
Yeah.
You're not going to entertain somebody if you're not interested in them.
And that's why it's difficult for me to understand. Someone once told me a long time ago, and it's been something that I've always had to remind myself, people don't feel the way you feel. People don't love the way you love. Mm-hmm. We're just all different. The way we are, the way we feel, the way we perceive.
Trauma, pain, everything.
Everything is just different. So if the way that I feel and the way that I am is not going to be the same as someone else. And that's just a hard truth that I think is a big pill to swallow.
They don't feel the same way I do when we're in the situation together.
How could they not feel? Because we're just different people. It doesn't make me feel better, but it makes sense.
So let's talk about reasons why men love being in situationships, the benefits they gain from that. Number one is the freedom without commitment that comes with it. One of the main attractions that comes with situationships for men is the opportunity to experience both physical and emotional intimacy without the obligation that comes with commitment. According to some men, with situationships, there are no labels, no drama, or intense discussions that has to do with future plans. They love it because this scenario offers the advantages of both relationships and casual encounters. Bear in mind, when sex is involved, men gain the most and women are left struggling with the side effects of contraceptives and pregnancy scare.
I think it's finally time I tell you guys the story of how I was in a 5-year-long situationship. And I know you might be thinking, how could something like that last for 5 years? Well, I'm gonna explain to you. So we met in college, we were neighbors, and we started hooking up in the summer of 2017. And I'm giving you guys years so you can follow the timeline easier. Right off the bat, we were like hanging out every single day. I took him home for fall break to meet my parents and we made it official. So we were like actually dating. We also had just said, I love you. We were like not in a situationship at this time. Then about a month into dating, he broke up with me. Broke up for like a day and then we just continued to hang out and nothing about our relationship changed except for the title. So he just wasn't my boyfriend. The rest of my senior year of college, we were doing that same thing where it was like, we weren't dating, but we basically were dating. We spent like every single night together, went to fraternity formals, mountain weekend, beach weekend. He came to my graduation, sat with my parents and my grandparents. So after I graduated, this is really when things all started to go downhill. He is still in college. The dynamic wasn't good. I was really insecure. But for some reason, we were discontinuing this vicious toxic cycle. We were obviously hanging out a lot less because we had a little bit of like distance between us, like 20 minutes. For the next 2 years, we basically continued to do that. Then COVID happens and we got closer again. So I thought things were going really well. COVID seemed to like bring us closer together. He had graduated college. He moved down to the area of Charlotte that I was living in. We went on vacation. Things were looking up. It was going great. And then we had a conversation one day. I was like, things have been going really well. It feels like we're dating. Like, do you ever think we're gonna be boyfriend, girlfriend again? Or it's like, I'll get there. Like, I just wanna do it on my own time. Like, I wanna ask you to be my girlfriend on my own time. Well, then like a week later, he breaks up, like ends things because we technically weren't dating, but he just like was like, I actually can't do this. And if you've read my book, yes, he did do that over text. So that was lovely. Then we were broken up for like 6 months. We were hardly talking. We still kind of hung out a little bit. And then he came to New Year's 2021. And ever since that moment, we just were right back in a situationship, hanging out, and like no labels, no title. So that was 2021. And then summer 2022, had that conversation again. I was like, hey, we can't really keep doing this forever. And he was like, I agree, like, I think it needs to end. And that is how we ended. If you're asking why I was in a 5-year-long situationship, like, I definitely could have left. I just didn't honestly have the strength to leave. I don't regret how long it was. Like, I don't regret anything, honestly. I think the situation taught me to stand up for myself and never put my wants or needs like behind someone else's. Yeah, I just felt the need to kind of explain this timeline because I definitely think people get confused when I talk about being in a situationship for that many years because it is insane. But if that person doesn't want you to leave, like, and they're begging you to stay, like, you are going to stay. And that's exactly what happened to me.
Situationship is a perfect setting for men because they get to keep their independence while still enjoying companionships, the benefits of relationships. So to men, it is a win-win situation for a good number of men. It creates opportunity for a good number of men to shy away from being accountable. You know, some men don't like accountability. They love it because it doesn't give them that pressure to change their life to become a better version of who they are. Rather, they remain who they are and still get benefits of relationship. You get what I mean? Another advantage of situationship for men is because they use it to control their emotions. In a traditional relationship, feelings can escalate and many men find such intensity to be overwhelming and they shy away from such a situation. But with situationship, they don't get to involve themselves in such an overwhelming situation because emotions are really not invested interested from their own end. They're not committed. It's just a surface level thing. So they can gain all the benefit that they can equally get from traditional relationship and still not have their emotions drive out of control, still have their emotions in check, because there is nothing emotional in that relationship. Nobody is getting deeper with emotional talks and banter and all that. So they love it.
Some of y'all are in situationships not because the other person is genuinely confused about whether or not they like you. They do like you. They actually really like you. They just don't want to commit to a deeper connection with you. And also at the same time, they don't want to see you with someone else. And just because they don't want to see you with someone else, it doesn't mean that they're secretly in love with you. They just don't want to lose access to you. They want to keep you close enough to fulfill certain needs, but not so close that it leads to a serious commitment. And my advice to you is that you should never let another person use you in that way, regardless of how much you like them and regardless of how much you're attracted to them. Because like I said before, they like you. They really, really like you, but they don't have the capacity to care for all of you. And I know that this can be a really, really tough pill to swallow. I've definitely been there before. And there may even be a part of you that's kind of like, no, that can't be the case because they're doing this and they're doing this and they're doing all these things. But the one thing that you actually desire, which is to be in a relationship with them that feels secure, they aren't able to offer that to you. How is it so easy for them to do all of the other relationship stuff with you, but then it's so hard for them to claim you? And you even have to really reconsider why you want to be in a relationship with someone who's so confused about a foundational thing that needs to happen in order for you guys to actually have a secure relationship. Learn how to choose people who choose you. And the first step in learning how to do that is learning how to choose yourself, because no one on this earth is confused about someone they really, really want.
Men use situationships to gain flexibility to explore. You know, in a normal traditional relationship, men are not allowed to explore. You're supposed to stay to one woman according to the arrangement you had with that woman. But what is common out there is that men are not allowed to explore. But with situationship, it creates that atmosphere for men to explore, because in the first place, there is no real commitment. The lady might be committed, but the man does not commit. Men in this situation don't feel tied down. It gives them the freedom to explore, to be with other women without feeling guilty. It's more like them eating their cake and having it. Women are the ones that feels the brunt of it in this whole situation, because women easily get attached to men, especially when sex is involved. So what you get from most women is that they start becoming hopeful and waiting for the day that man might come around and commit, because they think since this man is being sexually involved with them, maybe one day he's going to come around and commit. And it's also a risky situation for women to be in, because given that that man is going out there to sleep around, the chances of him coming back to her with STIs and STDs are very high. So women that practice situationships are risking their life health-wise. Men also prefer being in situationships because it reduces responsibility.
Beware the man who says, "I don't want drama." For the man who adds that to his dating profile or speaks it in conversation can only do so from the pre-existing condition of frustrated and confused. And this same man will nonetheless be drawn to women with whom he will surely co-create drama. Because here's what "I don't want drama" really means. It means I'm terrified of feeling out of control, and I don't know how to be with anyone who has feelings that are beyond my current capacity to feel, or with anyone who acts in ways that are outside of my tiny little comfort zone. And thus, he will reject any woman who feels more than he does, or acts in ways that aren't easy for him to be with, which is most every woman. And then he'll blame her for being too dramatic.
If a guy says to you, "I want peace in my relationships," if he says, "I want a drama-free relationship," if he says, "I just want things to be easy," run for the hills. Run for the hills immediately in that moment. Just turn around and walk away. Because what he's actually saying to you is that he has no emotional capacity. He has no conflict resolution skills. He does not know how to hold space. And when you present your emotions to him, and especially if he in some way contributed to those emotions, he will gaslight you.
To be honest with you, every relationship and marriage comes with a huge responsibility, be it on the side of the woman or the man. So a lot of men don't like to be responsible because a good number of men out there are selfish. They think about themselves alone. But when it comes to them looking after someone else and catering for their partner, it becomes a problem. So they don't want to be responsible. So if they find a situationship that allows their responsibility to thrive, they will go for it. And that's the reason why they love being in situationships, because it reduces the amount of responsibility they get. A good number of men out there depend on women for emotional support, but when it comes to them giving back same emotional support to women, they don't want it. They are so irresponsible. So using situationships gives that room for them to avoid that. But when it comes to family gathering, meeting family members, some men don't like it. With situationship, you can't take a man home and tell your family or your friend we're in a situationship. It sounds off. So that creates room for men to escape that, reducing their workload and their responsibility.
You're in a situationship and they're loving everything about it, but maybe you're not. This video is for you. So if you're a situationship girly, make sure to keep this video. So here's the thing that you really have to ask yourself. And if you're new to this page, this is going to require radical self-honesty. What is it that you truly want with this person? Again, this requires radical self-honesty. Because if you're playing the I'm cool, like we're just having fun, but you are not having fun, girl, we got to be honest with ourselves, because if you want commitment and they don't, sure, you could wait, but holding on to possibility without looking at the reality, you're only hurting yourself. And there's another layer to this. If you tend to be a people pleaser, this gets even stickier because your focus is on making them happy, their needs are getting met, but guess who suffers in the end? The people pleaser. Because putting somebody else's needs in front of your own feels good for the moment, but in the long term, you're paying for that. Tell me what you think in the comments.
So you have it. For a lot of men, situationship is the sweetest spot between companionship and freedom. No emotional overload, no commitment, just a chill vibe that works with their lifestyle. As a woman, you have to ask yourself, is this arrangement truly benefiting you? And if the answer is yes, in what ways is it benefiting you? You have to be very truthful to yourself, extremely truthful to yourself. I wouldn't advise anyone to get into a situationship with a man if your intention is to get married or get into a proper relationship with real commitment, because you're already giving up everything. Why then should the man commit to you? A good number of men out there just want to be free as a bird and do whatever they want to do and sleep with as many women as possible. So you getting into a situationship with that man is you creating that pathway for him to do that. So why would the man want to commit with you or commit to you when he already has option to explore and be with other women? You need to think about it. And you staying put there, it's not doing good for you or even your mental health. So if you're already in a situationship, I think it's time for you to have a re-evaluation, reflect deeply, and maybe pack your bags and leave if you think that isn't working for you.
When I was in my situationship, it costed me 3 years of my life, y'all. 3 years. And he used to always tell me, like, if you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to walk away, you can walk away. But he always left it up to me, because nobody's going to end something that's beneficial to them, no matter how little it benefits you. So it's up to you to walk away. It's up to you to go no contact. It's up to you to stand up, because they are not going to stand you up when they're benefiting off of you being a fucking doormat. They're not going to make you stand up when they're benefiting off of you being weak in the knees. It helps them that you're weak in the knees. It helps them that you're available all the time. It helps them that you want to be in a relationship. But you're only in a situationship by yourself, because that person, they don't consider it anything. They're just like, oh, it's convenient. So when I'm bored, I'll call. When I'm lonely, I'll text. When I really need something, that's when I'll show up and come over her house. If you don't stand up, nobody's going to put you on your feet. Nobody. Because if you weaken the knees, the minute that they let go, you're going to fall down anyways. So it's up to you to stand up and stand on motherfucking business. Or continue to be in that damn situationship by yourself.
If you are in a situationship for an extended period of time with someone who does not want to commit and wants to keep it casual and has expressed this, it is now on you to decide what is best for your well-being. It doesn't matter if they see you 4 times a week. It doesn't matter if they cuddle you after being intimate. It doesn't matter if they take you for dinner. None of that matters if they've told you exactly what they want. So you need to stop creating a fantasy in your mind with the hope that time will change this person's mind, because it won't. You want different things, and that's okay. But it's up to you to protect yourself and your heart and leave.
If you'd love to watch a video on how men use baby trapping to tie women down, to slow down their progress, and to continually have access to them, click this video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.